freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round one recap for this week's Memorial. Joining me to break it all down, Patrick McDonald is here. PMAC. Do people call you PMAC?
PMAC. Actually, funny story. Brianna, obviously the talent manager for CBS Sports HQ.
I do.
She asked me that question a couple months ago because I guess in the control room, the people are like, we got PMAC coming on. and I'm like, none of them have ever called me that to my face. I got it when I was little, but not recently.
Do you think they have nicknames for all of us? And I
think they might.
I'm now nervous about what they might be.
I always wondered how difficult I am compared to others. I'm not saying I'm difficult, but when it's like, oh, I have a Wednesday off, it's just like, hey, we need you Wednesday, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm doing stuff on my off day.
What
What
percentage do you say yes to, and what percentage do you say no to?
I say yes quite often.
Yeah,
I would say I'm batting north of 80 to 85% yes.
Okay, I think that you're probably pretty well received over there, though.
Okay, yeah, I always feel horrible about it.
I will say so. I actually told Brianna no twice today, which
okay.
I rarely do. I know. I felt bad about that. I'm usually yes.
Off your chest.
9 out of 10. I do. Now I've got tickets to a baseball game tomorrow night, so I can't go. I couldn't do tomorrow post, and then there was something else that popped. Oh, and then like Wednesdays are just bad days for me. Right. I've got a ton of stuff going on, and that's the only day that we don't pod. So I do everything else on Wednesdays. So it's very difficult for me to go on HQ on Wednesdays.
Yeah. Well, and if it makes you feel better, now I'm in that 8:30 slot for you.
Thank you.
I'm batting cleanup for you. Yeah. They're bringing in the B team here.
Well, I appreciate it because, listen, between you and I, we are we got this all under control.
Yeah, we're working, man. We're not slacking off or anything.
No, we're not. They were working at Muirfield Village. 73 players. They are almost all done. There's one group, maybe two groups, still out on the golf course. So this is basically, for all intents and purposes, complete. Let's get you started with those who did some work in the morning, and the number one player in the world looked like the number one player in the world. That's Scotty Scheffler. He shot a 5 under 67, birdied 2 of his first 3 before making his lone bogey of the day on the par 5 6th, which you could argue this could have been much better because Scotty Scheffler should be making bogeys on par 5s. But Patrick, this was tactical. It was complete. He never made more than 1 birdie in a row. He was second off the tee. He was second on approach.
He could have been 5 under through 5. He missed the 5-footer on number 2. He missed the 8-footer on number 4, middle of the fairway on number 5, and a big fat mud ball. Rips one way left, doesn't get up, and actually kind of lucky. There it is. Ted Scott in the corner. And
that's a good joke. If you don't get that joke, that's a good joke.
And I guess he said after his round, he goes, in hindsight, I should have probably just aimed in the middle of the water. But he's like, I'm not ever going to do that. Missed it way left of the water, hits it over the green, doesn't get up and down, makes his only bogey of the day, gets really mad. I think what's kind of cool about Scotty Scheffler is he gets fired up on the golf course now, visibly upset, throwing stuff a little bit, a little angsty, and then he lets a minute go by and he's back to level. It's cool to see. And like you said, just tactical. What you expect from him, middle of the fairway, green, really good back 9. 4 under on the back 9 without dropping a shot is no small feat. And the shot into 18, waiting to get the right wind, knocking it to a foot, was just a little icing on the cake.
Yeah. So good. Enjoyable to watch. Yeah, really, really a pleasure. The course played a stroke over par on Thursday, so that's picking up about 6 shots on the field. Did Scotty Scheffler, our reigning PGA champion, Xander Schauffele, did almost as well. A 4 under 68. This was bogey free. This was almost a very symmetrical scorecard. Birdies on 4, 7, 11, and 15. Xander talked earlier in the week about how difficult the course was. Oh, I played 9 holes. I don't know if I broke 40. That is why you don't listen to any of these golfers when they talk about their game. And this is why you just look at these two, Scotty and Xander, and say, yeah, probably the best and the second best player in the world.
Yeah, he talked about his round afterwards and how poor it was from tee to green. Led the field in strokes gained putting, was pretty average across the board from and off the tee approach and around the green. Really buoyed by that putter and saying he's going to put some work in after the round on the range. And yeah, I mean, he rolled in a nice one on 4 from 30 feet, a couple nice par saves on 5 and 6, another birdie on 7 as well from distance, and really just a number of nice par saves. Gained over almost 4 strokes putting, about 5 strokes on the field. But you would imagine Xander Schauffele shaking off a little rust is going to get things right from tee to green moving forward. And if he continues to putt like this, he will certainly be a problem. I will say he sounds like, it's pretty cliche, but a pretty different guy to the media. Like, he is needling people back in the media now, and it's funny to hear. One guy legitimately asked him, he goes, so what do you do on your off days? And he's like, I'm a pretty normal guy. Like, I'll hang out with my dogs, I'll hang out with my wife, I'm not really watching much. And he's like, well, what do you do when you practice? And he's like, I practice, I play golf, I chip, I putt. He goes, this is like me asking you what you do for your job. What do? You type a few words, you talk to guys like me, and you write an article?
He's feeling good.
Yeah, he's feeling very good.
He's feeling real good. I saw that Odyssey is releasing. So he uses a putter that you can't get. He uses, so it is a combination of 2 different Odyssey putters, which is it's like the 7S, which is that red one with the double wings, but it doesn't have the O-Works face. It has like a milled face, almost like a Scotty Cameron or something like that. And I've been dying for them to release that. Like, that's my dream, right? Is like that, those 2 things together. I've been dying for them to release that. I saw that they are going to release that, but here's the thing, Patrick. They're a year too late. I'm a jailbird guy now.
So do you know who is no longer a jailbird guy?
Do I want to know? I'm afraid that I'll never be able to look at them the same way.
He's been pretty bad recently.
Who is it?
Wyndham Clark.
Ooh, Wyndham. He ditched the jailbird.
He ditched the jailbird. He's got some it kind of looks like the 2-ball, but it's not the 2-ball, if you know what I'm talking about. I couldn't tell.
He's also in a new, he's using the new Titleist drivers now, I guess. He switched to that. So he's got some different stuff in the bag. I've
got a line of contact to pretty close members of his camp, and I've heard it's not going great recently. And the results back it up.
I will just tell you from my eyeballs at Valhalla, he looked incredibly frustrated at all times. Every time I saw him, it looked very frustrating.
Yeah. And at Quail Hollow, his practice round, 18 holes, it was just him and his strength the whole time.
Julie.
That was the whole practice round. I was like, oof, that's a long therapy session.
Yeah, it did not. It didn't look great. It did look great for Ludwig Aberg, who started to put those knee pain, knee injury concerns to bed. Missing the cut at the PGA Championship, gets off to a nice start. Birdie's number 1, birdie's number 5, and then he adds a birdie streak on his second 9, 13, 14, and 15. 68 for Ludwig, in which he putted beautifully, second in the field in putting. He gained nearly 4 strokes there, but he drove it well. He was top 10 in the field. Just a pretty solid round that was buoyed, obviously, by a very good putter.
Yeah, and he kind of not complained, but lamented about how he just hasn't played a ton and how the knee wasn't the issue at the PGA Championship. He just didn't feel like he had enough reps going into that tournament. And this is a guy we really just have not seen a ton of. And so it's good to see him back. And we always talk about how the more difficult the golf course, it seems like someone like Ludwig is going to thrive at those venues. And he got off to a great start, like you said. Rolls in a long one on number one that Scotty Scheffler then matched. And they kind of just went back and forth all day, vibing off each other. Only 2 drop shots between them, 1 each. And it's a great start for him. And reminder that he's an absolute stud, even though we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, and also a reminder that next week is going to be his 3rd major championship of his career.
Can't win the big one. Can't win the big one.
At what point do we have to get concerned that this guy hasn't won a major championship?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. He's missed the cut in 50% of his majors, Rick.
I'm concerned he stinks.
I'm there with you. So that makes 2 of us.
There's someone that I would like to declare as back baby, and it's our defending champion, Viktor Hovland. Bogey on 4, so he was over par before he was under par. Makes an eagle on 5 and doesn't look back. Birdie on 7, adds a couple more on his second 9. Kind of the I don't want to say the wheels were coming off because they certainly weren't. He played his last 4 holes all in with 4 pars. 15, he had to make a pretty creative par save after a very wayward second shot. 18, he had to hit a delicate little chip and get up and down there from the short side. So he kept this thing together without dropping another shot late.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think of his round today because he had some moments like number 6, he kind of ripped a guy with the drive that kind of kept him in it, laid up smartly, really nice up and down on that hole. You have the par on number 12 after getting a horrible break in the greenside bunker, leaving it in there and then holing it from the bunker. And then you also have that par on 15 as well, where that could have gone anywhere with his second. It could have hit the cart path and gone over the fence. We could have had a reenactment of Bryson DeChambeau from many years ago. It could have gone in the water as well. And for him to make par was obviously a massive bonus. So it feels like he's not quite 100% back, I'd say. I'd say like B+ ish. He's close. He's very close, but there's still certain moments where it's like, all right, I don't know if the full swing's exactly where Viktor Hovland is. And I think he's admitted as much this week, talking to a few people. So it's very encouraging, though. You don't have your A game. You're playing a very difficult golf course, and you're 3 under inside the top 10.
Patrick declaring him as almost back, B+ game. That's okay. I'll take that. The Bryson thing was there was like back-to-back weeks where he did this. He was this where his ball was in the fence.
Yes.
And then he argued about relief with like 3 different rules officials.
Yes.
And then is this where he ended up like making a 10 somewhere?
Yeah, it's the 10 and him counting on the green.
Yeah.
With his green. He's like,
yes.
Yeah.
Because he also made a 10 like at Rocket Mortgage. Remember? Because I remember the meme was him holding up the Rocket Mortgage trophy, which is a circle, and then someone had put a 1.
Oh, yeah. When was that?
I think it was like within a couple weeks of each other.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm trying to remember. And when was the anthill thing? Was that also at the memorial?
It was all just like the same. He just was like piling them up.
That was peak, man.
It wasn't. It was fire ants, wasn't it?
Yeah, fire ants. Because I remember Brooks Koepka was in the trees one time, and a boom mic caught him. He goes, "Oh crap, some fire ants. Should I get some relief?" Joking with Ricky Elliott.
I remember that. That was pretty good. Well, the big mover, the biggest mover, the man that they chase, also went out in that, not really a morning wave because there's no waves at this event, but earlier than others. And that's Adam Hadwin, the Desert Fox. 4 birdies and a bogey on his front 9. 4 birdies and a bogey on his second 9. Add it up, Patrick. That's 8 birdies, 2 bogeys. That is a 6 under 66, and he was taking aim at flag pins left and right.
Rick, would you consider Adam Hadwin a bopper?
I believe what you're referring to is a popper.
No, I like to call them boppers.
Oh, okay.
Bop it, spin it, pull it,
Yeah.
twist it.
So if that's the same thing, then absolutely he is.
Wait, this whole time we've been calling them poppers? I
Yeah.
thought we've been calling them boppers.
Well, a bopper, I feel like, is somebody who hits it far, somebody who bops it. A big bopper. In baseball, a bopper would be like a home run hitter.
Yeah. Okay. He's a popper.
Popper. Pops up.
That kind of changes everything for me. Yeah. You look at his finishes so far this year, though. Not a lot, right? Not a lot inside the top 30, but you get the T6 at the American Express, a top 5 at the Genesis, a top 5 at the Valspar. And this week as well, like you said, he was firing at every pin, hit 14 greens in regulation. 7 of those were inside 10 feet, made a number of nice putts as well. And that's how you get a 6 under 66. Easily could have been 7 under, if not for that bogey on the last, missed about a 7.5 footer, I want to say. So great start for him. This is what happens when Greg goes against one of his guys. I forget in what, but I know he went against the Desert Fox this week, I believe. And he's making him pay.
Yeah. Adam Hadwin is an 80-20 guy where he gets like 80% of his money and his FedEx Cup points in 20% of his starts, because it's just like miscut, T2, miscut, fourth, etc.
On him ground beef.
80-20 ground beef. Yeah. Okay.
Are you an 80-20 guy? I feel like you kind of avoid ground beef. You're a ground turkey guy.
I don't do a lot of ground beef. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of red meat in general. A lot of chicken would be like the go-to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of red meat.
Fair enough.
The afternoon wave provided plenty more fireworks and plenty more superstars. We are going to discuss them after a quick word from our partners.
Well, you need your sports news anywhere?
We've got breaking news to bring you.
Then get your sports anytime you want them. Big trade news overnight to discuss.
Because we know you need sports all the time.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
A legend adds to their legacy.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
CBS Sports HQ, anywhere, anytime, all the time.
We're back. One Canadian played well in the morning. One Canadian played well in the afternoon. That latter Canadian, Corey Connors, 4 under 68. Also, like his fellow countryman, bogeyed the 18th hole. It's a hard hole. A lot of guys bogeyed it. But Corey Connors is putting like a man possessed right now. I think he gained like nearly 7 strokes putting in Canada last week. He picked up another 2.5 today, which is 4th best in the field. That's the secret. Corey Connors is always going to be a very good ball striker. He's okay around the greens. The putter has turned from hemorrhaging strokes to gaining, and that is a very big change.
I'm not much of a grass guy, Rick. What were they putting on in Canada? Do you remember?
I think when they redid it, they changed it to bent.
And this week is bent as well, right?
I believe that is correct. Yeah.
Wow. So I always kind of, in the back of my mind, I had some nugget that Corey Connors was maybe more of a Bermuda guy. It seemed like he got things rolling in the Florida swing a lot the last couple of years with the short game department, but maybe he's a bent boy now, changed his strand, because like you said, top 5 in round 1 this week in strokes game putting, putted great last week. And before last week, the ball striking was great. 0 top 10 finishes. He was the king of the 3rd page of the leaderboard, it seemed.
Yeah.
Right? Like he owned that spot, absolutely dominated it. You knew he was going to be there week in and week out. You turn on the putting switch, you get starts like last week, you get a round like today, And on a golf course where tee to green can really separate you, you add in that added bonus, and you've got a contender in Corey Connors the rest of the way.
Corey Connors was Mr. T22 for the majority of the year. Now he's like in the mix. Good for you, Corey. Good for you. Picking up your putts, knocking everything in on bent. A trio of notables. Let's get to them. Rory McIlroy, one of the pre-tournament favorites, shot a 2 under 70, and it was eventful, I guess, is how we'll put this. The front 9, cool, calm, and collected. 1 birdie, 1 bogey, out in 36. Here's the second 9, Patrick. Birdie, bogey, that's a par 5. Double, birdie, par, birdie, 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 par. That's a 34 with 2 pars for Roars.
This was very impressive from Rory McIlroy because I think the one critique. What was I going to say?
I thought you were going to say criticism.
I think I was in between the two. So the one critique you could have post Masters, I think, is some of these lulls he's had in tournaments. You think about the second round in the Canadian Open last week, shooting 2 over, completely losing his iron play. There are some stretches in the PGA Championship as well in those middle rounds where he just couldn't string together enough birdies to keep pace with the guys. And even at the Wells Fargo Championship, even though he ran away with it because he was godly on Sunday, early in that tournament, there were some moments where you were kind of left scratching your head. So it seemed like today was going to be that stretch for him where he's going to let the tournament get away from him. Hitting the ball in the water on 11, which was his second big left miss with the driver, which was a bit interesting. And then kind of misjudging the wind or hitting the incorrect shot into 12 as well. We saw JT flight a really nice 7-iron in there, and McIlroy's kind of ballooned, which, I mean, not a shocker, I guess, in making a double bogey there. But he battled back really nice, made a number of nice putts coming in, hit a really quality shot into 17 as well, which was awesome. And he's right there in with a chance, only 3 behind Scheffler.
Lost strokes, not a lot, a third of a stroke off the tee, which is probably unlikely to happen again. So we'll see if Rory can continue his ascent up the leaderboard. Justin Thomas is here as well, and we're starting to get better stat profiles from JT, but he found a little bit of a rough patch around the turn here, Patrick. He parred 9, he bogeyed 10, he bogeyed 11. He was able to get both of those back before the end of his round and get this thing into red figures, which is 2 shots better than field average. What's your assessment of Justin Thomas and his 18 today?
I think he's playing much better golf, not just like statistics wise, but just mentally. Like, he's playing a bit more conservatively. I don't think we can underestimate Matt Minister on the bag, Patrick Cantlay's old caddy. I would love someone to ask Justin Thomas, if anyone's listening to this who's on the ground, be like, can you describe the difference between having Bones on the bag and Matt Minister on the bag and how it's helped your game? Because he's turned into a much better course manager. There's probably one iffy part today on the 11th. He tried to hit this slow hook out of the trees, caught a little branch, and ended up making bogey there. But if you're Justin Thomas, you missed a number of makeable putts out there today. He looks very comfortable from that 10 to 20 foot range, much more than that 10 to 5 feet range where you really look at the stroke. You played the par 5s and even par. You're 1 under at a golf course where you've played well before. I think you have to be very encouraged, especially hitting only 6 fairways out there today. He's been driving it much better as of late. So if that driver comes back, you have a little bit of confidence. I think he's in good shape.
A 14-stroke difference between the best round of the day. That was Adam Hadwin 66. And the worst round of the day, Justin Rose's 80.
80. Ooh. Former champ.
And I liked him this week. He made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bogeys.
That's rude, Josh.
Triple on 18. Oh, Josh, that's dirty.
That's rude.
There's time. I have him as top
Yes.
Englishman. He is only, let's see, He's at 8 over. Fitzpatrick is 1 over. 7 shots happens all the time. And
Fleetwood's 3 under.
Yeah, so 11 shots, and he's got to find a way to get through the cut.
Got to make the cut.
You know.
Damn, Jay Rose. It's probably because he was paired with Jason Day today, who I'm a big fan of his fits, obviously. He was dressed kind of like an ice cream man. I thought he'd be going back into the clubhouse post-round to serve milkshakes to the guys, kind of help out the guys behind the bar. And we know Justin Rose, what does he like the most, at least in his MasterCard commercials?
Oh, he likes ice cream with a drizzle.
With a drizzle. So I think he might have been a bit distracted out there on the golf course, Rick.
See, makes perfect sense. So this was not really a hashtag bad pick. It was really just an ice cream situation.
It was an ice cream situation. What's the song? Na 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 na. No, that's Jolly Good Fellow. You know the ice cream jingle though from the truck?
Yeah, I mean, if I heard it, I would know it. I don't think I could.
Yeah, man, it's escaping me.
No, wait. It's like the Jack. Is it also like the Jack in the Box one?
Na 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 na. Yeah. Da 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 da. I don't know if that's the ice cream one too, but it's closer than Jolly Good Fellow.
Collin Morikawa. He might
Jolly Good Fellow.
He is a jolly good fellow. He was jolly after his 4 under 68, an eagle on number 2. Yeah, let's just get this thing started. Hole out from 133 yards, a birdie on 5, a birdie on 9, a birdie on 12, a clean scorecard until he steps onto the tee of the 18th hole, drives it into the fairway bunker, has to kind of just leave it short in front of the green. Can't get up and down from there. The only bogey on the card, but Collin looked fairly in control here, Patrick. 3rd in the field in approach, 1st around the greens. He didn't even gain a stroke with the putter. In fact, he lost a stroke with the putter. So this is a little scary, a little dangerous here.
Yeah, he made some nice putts, but I think those last 2 kind of put him in the negative side. Missed the 5-footer on 17 after that fairway bunker shot, which would have given him a share of the lead at the time, and then missed about a 6.5, 7-footer on 18 to save par, but he fell victim to the final hole. It's a shame we don't have footage of his shot into number 2. I don't like to get on people, but that's a bit ridiculous, guys.
It's unbelievable.
It's a bit ridiculous.
This is a small field. You would normally have the cameras on for like 8 hours. Why are the cameras not always on? Point them at the green.
I was waiting for it to drop like all day. Fired the intern, I guess. It is that season.
Sometimes they release like the shot link camera footage, like the casino, from the casino.
The late night bar footage.
Yeah.
All grainy.
Closed circuit, no audio. Sometimes we get that. Yeah. Not even this.
Yeah, but the around the green game has been awesome. He kind of touched on it earlier in the week when someone asked him, like, hey, your pitching and chipping seems better. And he's like, well, I got to practice it a lot the last couple of years when my iron play kind of sucked. And when you put it in that perspective, yeah, it is a lot better. He chipped in on number 2, or from off the green at least, or number 12, the par 3, made it 2. And it looked great. I would say my one criticism, not critique, we're rolling with criticism this time, of Collin Morikawa is he only hit 4 greens on the back 9, and it was a lot of wedges as well. It seemed like the wedge play can still improve. I think generally his iron play can still improve to reach the peak Collin Morikawa, where he's gaining more than 5 strokes on approach in a tournament. But I think the wedge play is the place I want to see him take his next step. And if he does, I think he'll win this golf tournament.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's see what Vegas thinks about his chances to win this golf tournament, because Josh is going to present us with the betting odds right now. And there they are. Scotty Scheffler, yeah, he's your favorite. He's one shot off the lead. He is in solo second. He is plus 190. Xander Schauffele, just one shot back of Scotty, plus 600. That's 6-1. Collin Morikawa, 7.5-1. That might get a little tickle from Patrick McDonald tonight, from P-Mac. Rory McIlroy, 12-1. Ludwig and Victor are both 14-1. Tommy Fleetwood, Corey Connors, and Adam Hadwin, the Englishman and the 2 Canadians, are all 22-1. That's not true. Tommy is 20-1. Looks like we're getting a Morikawa bet from you.
Well, I'm already on him. This is honestly setting up perfect for me with my best bet of Scotty Scheffler and the bet of Collin Morikawa 10-1 without Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, and Rory McIlroy.
Wow.
I feel pretty good about that one. If I was getting in right now, I have 3 names, 2 of which I've already bet. Actually, all 3 I've already bet, but 2 of which were on my first cut betting card. All at 1 under. So only 4 behind Scotty Scheffler. Justin Thomas, like I mentioned, 40-1. Max Homa, also 1 under. Didn't really have his best stuff. 75-1. In Big Tone Finau. 80-1. Also at 1 under. Those are my guys. In addition to Collin Morikawa.
Can I break some news for you?
What happened? Who withdrew? All of them?
No. Scotty Scheffler's winning this golf tournament.
Oh man, really?
I mean, how does he lose this? Like, I know it is so boring.
I know.
This golf he has shredded it from tee to green every single time he has played it, and now he can putt. It is over.
It is. You're right. And I mean, he's not going to make that mistake on 6 again, ever again, or on number 5 again, ever in his life. But it's just, it's like I get text messages. We've talked about this. Our friends who are new to golf betting, they're like, this is the easiest freaking thing in the world. All you have to do is bet on Scotty Scheffler. And I'm like, what is the fun in that? What is the fun in that?
I said it before. I won't name him, but I have a buddy and I hate him. He's made like 10 bets in his life and he's got like 6 winners.
Yeah. It's like, God, I do this for a living.
If I assume Scotty doesn't win this.
Yeah, come on. Give us something else. Your boy.
Well, so personally I already have a pre-tournament ticket there. So no, I think I mean Rory's 12-1. This is also a good spot for him. I think he played about the worst he could have played, and he's 2 under. Now he's gonna have to. The problem is though, like imagine him making up like 3 more shots on Scotty, a shot a day on Scotty. I just find that really hard to believe that anybody's going to do that. But that's why you're getting the odds, I suppose. That's where I would go is Rory here. He's got the firepower to do it. He's not going to lose a stroke with the putter or with the driver. There's a lot of ways he could clean this up and get in this thing.
A lot of ways. What do you play the par 5s today? In even 1 under? And so one came with a bogey and the other came with a 3-putt par, which seems like he has one of those every round on a par 5.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, he was the 54-hole leader at this tournament last year. A lot of people forget because we think of the Scotty Scheffler numbers and the Victor Hovland back 9, but it was him and Siwoo Kim in that final group.
Okay. Well, no matter how it shakes out, and no matter who moves on Friday, we'll be here. There will be a cut tomorrow, and we'll be here to break it all down. Big thanks to producer Josh, does all the hard work behind the scenes. Patrick McDonald, PMac at PMcDonaldCBS is where you can find him on Twitter, and you can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.